Hi guys, it's been a little while since I've posted a video. I've been a bit busy, so I just thought I'd do one today. I've been meaning to do this for a couple of weeks now. I'm sorry I haven't got to it earlier, but it seems like every second question on Facebook pages and forums at this time of year about chemical applications, garden forums, lawn forums, is how much chemical do I apply to my lawn? So people will go into a shop and they'll buy some Spartan because they've been told on YouTube or Facebook that that's the stuff you need to use as a pre-emergent, and you apply it with your Acelepryn because that'll stop the grubs for 6 months. And they get it home, they read the label on the bottle, they can't remember what the guy in the store told them to do, and they put it in their cupboard, and a lot don't even bother applying it, or a lot will apply it over the specified rate or even under the specified rate, because it's all too hard to work out when a bottle says 30 mils per 100 square metres or 15 mils in the case of Acelepryn. I have to stress there's nothing more important when you're applying any chemical, whatever it may be. Bow and arrow is another common one this time of year. Read the label. These chemical companies, there's probably 20 years of bringing these chemicals out. You know, it's probably been in the pipeline for 20 years. That's how much work goes into some of these chemicals. And what needs to be known is put on the label. They don't put it there because they have to for law's sake. It's so, you know, Acelepryn's an expensive chemical, so is Spartan. If you're putting that on at double the rates, you're just wasting it. So that's my first tip. Read the label, because everything you need to know is on there. But anyway, let's get down to it. So in the case of the Acelepryn, that's a 100 ml bottle. In Australia, that's about close to 130 bucks for 100 mils. It's expensive chemical. So how do you work out? It's the rate that it will say on the label of Acelepryn is 15 mils per 100 square meters, right? So you've got to know your lawn size to start with. So how do you do that? Well, you can either measure it out with a tape measure. Because I do a lot of applications, I just run around with a measuring wheel and work it out that way. So length times breadth, you know, you might break some lawns up into sections and work it out, but you don't have to be millimetre perfect, but you will get a lot closer if you measure it. I mean, if you're a homeowner, you've only got to do it once and write it on the wall in your shed. Your front lawn's 100 metres, your back lawn's 350 metres. Then you know. If you're a contractor doing it, you might want to invest in a wheel, right? Because I just like to use the wheel because then I know. And if you're doing a lot of different lawns, you can have you should have a spray log anyway. So you write it in your book. Tom's front lawn's 15 square metres, and his back lawn's 85 square metres, or Bob's front lawn's 15 square metres and his back lawn's 20 square metres. Then you know. So you've only got to do it once to each lawn that you're going to spray. So I've just written down on this high-tech whiteboard I've got here. This lawn, for example, I've worked out at 66 square metres. Right? The rate of Acelepryn is 15 mils per 100. So, wow, how do you work out how much you're going to put on 66 square metres? So this is the mathematical way to work it out, right? 66 times the rate per 100 times 15 will give you 990, right? Now that's not square metres, that doesn't matter. 66 times the rate. So now if you're doing it for the Spartan, it's 30 mils. So it'll be 66 times 30, which I have a calculator here. I'll do it for you. 66 times 30 equals 1980, right? So what does that mean? That means nothing. You're not going to use 990 mils. How do you work out if it's 15 mils? How much do I need per 100? Well, you divide that number by 100. So with the Spartan, divide the 1980 by 100. It gives you the answer of 19.8. That's how many mils of Spartan you need for a 66 metre lawn, right? So if that was me, and it's 9.9 of acelepryn, I'd already done that one, so it's 9.9 mils of acelepryn for 66 square metres. So if I was going to apply the acelepryn, I'd just make it 10 mils, and I'd make that 20 mils. You don't have to be that perfect, but you have to be pretty close. You know, 0.2 of a mil is nothing, 0.1 of a mil is less. Okay, so, you know, if this number was 19.8 mils, and I go and put, and I say, oh, bugger that, I'll put 30 mils on, that's not how you do it, right? That's too much, and that's wasted chemical. Okay, and also, you wouldn't go and say, oh, 19.8, geez, this stuff's expensive, I'm only going to put 10 mils on. You don't do that either, that's not enough, all right? So I've done one here, so it works for all whatever size your lawn is. Say this lawn's 154 metres squared, times, we're doing acelepryn, times 15, gives me 2,310. Divide that by 100, gives me 23.1 mils. So you'd put 24 mils on that 154 square metre lawn. So that's accurate, right? That's accurate way of working it out. That's how it should be done. That's how the professionals do it, right? We don't guess. You know, if it's easy, if your lawn's 100 square metres and it's 15 mils per 100, you know, you put 15 mils on, right? But if your lawn's 121, that makes it a little bit more difficult. So how do you do that? 121 times your rate, 15 mils, divided by 100 gives you your answer, right? So this, and it could be any chemical, you know, some chemicals might be used 250 mils, right? Well, let's just do one that's high rate. So if your lawns, we'll do the 66 square metres times the rate per 100, 250 mils, right, equals 16,500. But you've got to divide that by 100, equals 16.5. Oh, no. Sorry, 165 mils per 66. That's if it's at 250. I don't know where I got this 16.5. It's 165 mils, right? Now, this can be used for fertilizer too. You know, you might have your 66 square metre lawn and your fertilizer rate is 2 kilos per 100. So when I do fertilizing applications and I'm working it out like this and it's a small lawn and it's 2 kilos per 100, what I'll do, I'll make that grams, so which is 1,000 grams per kilo. So you're going to put 2,000 grams on per 100. So times 2,000 equals 132,000, but you're going to divide that by 100 equals 1,320 grams. So that, I know that's 1.32 kilos I need per 66 metres, right? I just do the grams when I'm working on small lawns. If it's a big lawn and it's like, let's do it again. So it's a 200 square metre lawn and you apply 2 kilos, so by times 2 2 kilos per 100 equals 400, divided by 100 equals 4. So you're going to put 4 kilos on that lawn. Some bag rates or chemical bottles, big bottles, will have the rate per hectare. Hectare's 10,000 square metres, right? So there's 100 square metres in there, right? So you can work it out like that. Probably a good reason why you should have gone to maths class at school. Okay, so when it says a hectare, that can be really daunting, but there's 100 square metres in a hectare, so it's 10,000. Or you can work it out by crossing it, dividing it by that, like that. I do that sometimes, you know. It might be 2 litres per 10,000, so 2 litres is 2,000 mils. I wish I hadn't have done that now. So 2,000 mils per 10,000 square metres. So to divide that, you cross the naught. So it's simple division. So it's 2 mils per 10 square metres, or 20 mils per 100 square metres. See that? Simple. Anyway, guys, I hope that's helped you a bit, because every second question is, oh, how much do I spray? Bow and arrow is a classic. It's 50 mils per 100 square metres, right? But you have to have a calibrated sprayer, and what that means is calibrating your sprayer. You might spray 100 square metres and use 5 litres of water, right? So you know that put 50 mils in 5 litres and you'll get over that 100 square metres with your broadleaf weed spray. But I might use 6 litres of water. So what does that mean? That means I put 6 litres in that tank and I'll get over me 100 square metres. We've still applied the same amount of chemical. I've just used more carrier, being the water, right? So we will go into sprayer calibration one day. It's simple too. Once you've done that, and you can work these simple maths things out, your lawn care will be much easier, much more accurate. Okay, anyway, I hope that helps. I hope my camera work hasn't been too jiggly. I hope the numbers haven't been too daunting, but like I say, lawn size times the rate per 100 square metres, right? So your lawn size multiplied by the rate per 100, and then just divide that number by 100, and you have your answer of how much chemical you put on your lawn. So every lawn's going to be a different size. So I can't go and say, you know, if someone rings me up and says, Mark, how much acetylprin do I spray on my lawn? Well, the first question I ask is, how big is your lawn? And 99.999% of the time, the answer is, I don't know. So you can measure it with a tape, a wheel. Some people use Google, whatever it is these days. I'm not that high tech, but as long as you're pretty close, you know. Here's a classic example. 2 weeks ago, I had a guy want me to spray his lawn with these 2 chemicals, and I said to him, "How big is it?" And he said, "Oh, it's about 100 square metres, mate." So I went there, looked at it. I knew it was more than 100 by just looking at it. So I pulled out the wheel, measured the lawn. It was 160 square metres. So if I'd have gone off his word and applied these chemicals at the 100 square metre rate, they would have been under applied and they wouldn't have worked. So that's why it is very important to measure your lawns. Anyway, I hope this video helps some of you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. I'll try and get some more out, and I'll try and get better with this camera situation, because I know it's crap, and I hope I'm giving you as good information. I know it's accurate information because that's what works. That's how us greenkeepers work these things out. So good luck with it, and I'll see you in the next one.